And even working together, it was a little different. At first I was the one like in the industry, and then when he came home it was like trying to find our way. But now it is just it works so good. It's like
like
love,
a piece of the puzzle.
even because I'm like, okay, I flow in my lane, he flow in his lane,
and respecting each other in that.
Respect each other. Yeah,
it's not,
and you're building an empire together.
Right. It's not that we can't do what each other do, but her giftings are different from my giftings, and that's why even God pairs together, because our giftings complement each other.
Yes,
and we respect those giftings in each other. My wife Lenika flows in the prophetic.
Yes,
right. And I understand that. So when she comes to me and she says, this is what God is saying and stuff, I don't be like, oh.
Right.
Even though I be like, why are you bothering me?
Right. So guys, guess what?
But I listen.
We're getting... This is Sandrie and friends. I'm telling you, every week it just gets better and better. Or one of my friends would say, gooder and gooder. And you know what happens? When you've had the best, you're not interested in what's good. So I have the best right here, right now. Co-hosting Dr. Lauretta Pierce. And guess who's back? Gregg and Dr. Lenika Scott. We left off last week. Ooh, what? Power couple?
Ooh, yes.
Millionaire mom. And I say billionaire mom. I'm going to start calling her the billionaire mom. That's coming. There's so much, right? That we spoke last week about, but we've got to continue this, because especially for you that if you were here last week, I know you're tuning right in.
You need to grab the men.
You just want to get it all.
Tell their husbands, sons,
picture.
Turn on Dominion
what
TV.
Everybody needs to be watching.
Gregg Scott is on.
Well, listen.
Okay.
Listen. First of all, we mentioned he is a man that has the right identity.
My God.
That is very secure in who he is, because you cannot be
and whose he is.
And whose he is. I like that. What is it? Whose he is.
That's exactly right.
Listen, because you cannot be the husband of Dr. Lenika Scott and not know who you are. That's so important. But you know what? We were talking about process and just process life.
Yeah.
And we left off where they 2.5 seconds of angry, but then allowing the voice and the power of God to take over their situation.
You said 2.5. I thought you were going to say $2.5 million home.
Right.
2.6
for a cat.
Yeah, right.
That 1 point
we're
means
getting
a lot.
there, because had he not gone through that process of laying it all down at the foot of the cross, of getting rid
there
of
would be
sin,
no points.
there would be no 2.6 million. But the 2.5 seconds, hallelujah,
that's good.
got him to the 2.6.
Wow.
So the process, as we continue our conversation.
And let them know, though, because so they're like, what is the 2.6? It's $1 million home.
Yeah.
Beyond $2.6 million home. Cash.
Paid cash.
Cash. No mortgage.
When I heard about your goals back then,
I'm still in all.
One thing that you had back then,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't know it was going to be a $2.6 million home.
Gosh.
You did not know the losses you would take
along
to
the
gain
way.
it all.
That's right.
Along the way.
That's right.
But you allowed the process to unfold.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. What a happy ending, right?
Mm-hmm.
Per se. But guess what? That was that ending. There are new chapters.
There are
Many
new
more
chapters.
chapters
There are new
that are
chapters.
coming along. I like when we accomplish great things. Well, that's wonderful. I'm going to tell you, people will say, why is it that you don't have all your diplomas and all your certificates and all that? I says, I there was a time that I did put everything up. And one day I said, that's all that I've already done. I got to take that all down. I need a blank wall. There's a whole lot of more work to be done.
Yeah.
So
come on.
When you look at where God has you right now,
Yes.
that's all well and good.
Yes.
But what he has is so much more.
Yes.
That's right.
And it inspires, to me, it's an inspiration.
Yes.
It's not good. There's people with motivational. I know how to do that too. Ooh, I could pipe it up in a second and have everybody jumping and hollering. But you know what? It's life through the word that brings real inspiration.
That's it.
Okay. And when I hear your testimony, when I listen, Dr. Lauretta Pierce, I'll go to the end of the world with her. There's something. There's something. There's some people that there's something about them. And it's aside from the God in them, the Jesus in them. It's then how do we walk it here on earth?
Yeah, her family's my family. My family's her family. They come to town, and my kids are coming. Grandchildren.
We're gonna eat together.
Yeah,
Loretta will get in the. I love that fish, that monk fish. I'm gonna come back. I want monk fish. But no, she can cook. But the truth of the matter is that real life people with real life experience, with real life stories, with real life success.
There you go.
Success. And then you go from success to excel. There's another level of excellence. This here, that's the filter that I'm viewing this through. The filter of excel. There's so much more to come. However, we're enjoying the moment.
Yes.
You know, my book is called The Power of One Moment. I just got a revelation. I'm going to do part 2, the power of many moments of every person that's on the program.
Oh, wow.
Because every testimony that I'm listening to,
that's good.
has the powerful moments. The moment when you got on the 2.2, hey, Lord, you're talking, hey, whoa, what's up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know, how did I get to this? And I could just hear God saying, well, listen, just get beside yourself. Get over it. You got to go do what you got to go do. Do what you got to do so that you can get the next. And so here, fast forward, you're telling. He brought you through. So people, he will bring you through. He will see you through. But watch this.
Amen.
I used to hate the word submit. He yielded.
I yielded.
You yielded your will,
my will,
to his will.
That's it.
So when you yielded your will to his will, so many other things unfolded. See, I hear like Dr. Lenika Scott said, she questioned God. Can you imagine, Lord, you spoke to me. I'm the millionaire mom. Hello, Lord, like, what's happening? Here I am.
What's going on here?
And God is saying, the Lord give it, the Lord take it away. Can you still say, blessed be the name of the Lord. When I'm in the valley.
And really mean it.
It's not for show. You really mean it in your heart. That all of my actions and everything I do is unto you. It's unto you.
Oh my God, yes.
Unto you. And I love what you, and earlier, something that was mentioned last week in the program, or the week before, where you mentioned that you gave. You obey God. So imagine when we obey God. I've done that. I've made those crazy moves. Lord, why should I write that check? That's what I set aside for this investment. And the Lord said, there's no greater investment. But Lord, look, she has a bigger diamond than mine. Why would I give her my diamond? And I had to get rid of self. Get rid of self. Well, you're always giving good sunglasses away. I'm like, girl, please don't wear them today, so that you don't give them up. I don't know how many times. I'm looking, Loretta, what did you just do? She goes, I can't help myself. I said, don't wear those today. Do not wear them. But listening to that voice of God, surrendering everything to the Lord, and in your process, when do you realize that, okay, I have to go through this? And when not only do you realize it, and then you begin to see the growth, both of you, the multiplication. How does that? You go from this, and you could call it calamity.
Without fear.
From the pit to the palace.
Without the fear of it could happen again. What would we do without fear?
And you have to be able to go through. Listen, there's no fear. If God is in it,
that's it.
That's the challenge. When we surrender it all to God, you may have that uneasiness at times, right?
And even if fear arises, you submit that to the Lord too.
Ahead.
Courage over fear.
Because you're talking to somebody.
Yeah.
Because people are thinking, Lord, I'm scared.
You know, I'm fearful.
Do it scared.
Tell them.
Yeah. See, in that valley experience too, and God is He's so great in what He does.
That's a good title for you, Greg.
Yeah.
In that valley experience.
Oh no, do it scared. Oh, that's real good. We'll write that down. Do it scared.
Because even in that experience, that's where your gifts, talents are even deeper revealed to you.
It's true.
Yeah, what you're made of.
You're forced to be creative.
You're
it takes courage to create.
It does.
Ooh, I like that. Courage to create.
And here's the thing, and this is the unfortunate part of it, but a lot of people don't move and take action until their back is against the wall. Imagine if people took action even when they weren't in that valley place.
Well, they allow the fear to paralyze them.
Right.
As opposed to propelling.
Right. So that's where it's even revealed to you even more of what you got down on the inside of you. And it comes out. It comes out.
So how do you, that wake-up call, when do you realize, wait a minute, there's a shift? Because obviously there was a shift. How does that shift come about? And how do you go from being challenged and that phase to beginning to excel in business, your personal life, family, everything?
Well, so for us, even as we were going through, you know, on the last show, I was talking about when you speak, you're speaking to your heart. You know, God said, "I am that I am." So even in my conversation that I was having out loud while I'm down landscaping and getting all of the anger out, what I start putting in is, I am bigger than this. I am better than this. You know, God, you've created me to be better. You know, and so now that switch clicks. And I say, you got to take a step back to take a step forward sometimes. So I take that step back. I take the $11 hour job. So I graduated in 1993. And I started working, and it took me all the way to like 2004 to hit a certain status on my job. So now here we are in this valley experience. So what took me 11 years now took me less than a year to get back to. But it started out with me taking $11 an hour.
That always stored the
year. So that restoration process.
Always store the year.
So, I remember too, we had bought one of the kids something that we couldn't buy them a few months prior.
Right.
And I remember saying, oh my God, you are starting to restore.
You remember that?
Yeah, like we're now
to make me cry.
You know, we're now being restored. And then, you know, it was like the Lord began to show us, but this isn't nothing compared
great and mighty
to what
things
I have for you. Just stay on this process, stay on this seat, you know, for me to be in my will, right? Just stay in this lane, stay in this lane. So if we're going somewhere, stay in this lane. Like that's don't deviate from what I'm taking you all somewhere. And when you do begin to say, oh yeah, I feel it. Bless me, you know, praise me for it. And that's what we continue to do. We was like, oh my goodness, we are being restored. I would never forget that. And that was around 2013 when we started being restored. And then at the end of that year, that's when the opportunity came our way that would catapult us to multi-millionaire status. Even the next year, I remember us looking at a home. We had about $60,000 in the bank. Y'all gonna really love this. Y'all watching, you're listening. We had about $60,000, $80,000 in the bank. Greg was still working because one of the things that we had said with ourselves, you know, God, if you bless us again, you know, we want to do right by it. And we had a vision that until we saw like $1 million in the bank to pay for a home cash, this was another home that we paid off back in 2015. We were going to be good. So now at the end of 2014, $60,000 in the bank. The next month, $80,000 in the bank. We were looking for a home, and when we went to seek out a realtor at the time just for help, he kind of brushed us off. But get this: 6 months later, there was $1 million in the bank.
Wow!
And
I love it. Oh,
yeah!
Oh
6 months later. So talk about a supernatural wealth transfer. You know, some things that happened that was definitely not natural. And then we went and I remember the day we went to purchase that home, which was one of our first properties that we purchased debt-free. We own several properties debt-free. Even the one that we talked about a few minutes ago, the 2.6 million debt-free. But it was a property that it was just such a beautiful moment because it was like the start of something spectacular that God would do. And so if you can go through the wilderness with the attitude of gratefulness, and even when you know that you are bitter, but you can still be honest to the Lord and say, God, I'm bitter. I'm hurting. I don't know why you're allowing me to go through this pain. I lay it down at your feet, and he begins to come in and clean you up and wash that thing. He will begin to elevate you to places and levels unimaginable, where you can be on a show, Dominion TV, right? That go and stream global, right? And so one thing that I talk about so often is just yielding. And just as my husband yielded to God that day, and I also had to yield to him, like, use me. I make myself available, Lord. Whatever it is that you got to do to get, it out so that your people can see. I am a God that still answers prayers. Oh my God.
Oh my God. He's faithful.
He is so faithful.
He is so
I'm
faithful.
so full.
Yeah.
He is so
faithful. So I don't know if you knew the timeline. So when we crossed over and then we're like, we're being restored. And
I never really
this is happening so fast.
Because and it wasn't because I saw or thought, it was because I just always could feel that this is when you were doing banners. I always knew.
Yeah. And see, during that time when I was doing the banners, it was because we were struggling. When I asked you to write the foreword to my first book, we were struggling.
Wow.
But I saw, I knew.
But you believe
there's
what God
greatness.
But it was because we
there's
saw
greatness.
You believe.
Yeah.
That's the challenge. I believe with a lot of people nowadays. They'll receive the word, the prophetic word. They'll read the word. They'll even repeat what was said. But they take no action because they don't believe it. They're waiting for when. For when you have to believe it.
Some don't believe that they're worthy of it.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you.
Yes.
Some people, and that's where fear again comes in. They don't believe the word. And I was a person who didn't believe in the worthiness. So with me, God did not. Everything was supernatural, but he just said, "Here, girl, just go and take this. No matter how much, I'm not going to believe I'm worthy. I'm not." I think I had to have counseling on or therapy on why I gave so much. Which
you gave a lot of your money.
I gave everything. All the time. I still do.
Listen, have you ever seen her and Cheryl?
It's like a survivor's guilt.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I went through that.
What do you do? You send somebody with your bank card to go take money out of the bank to keep giving away, and I'm like, you did what?
But I will, after all of the therapy, and absolutely survivor's guilt. I realized, and I was like, okay, I'm cool with it now. I'm diagnosed. I know what my problem is.
But you still give.
I realized that it pleased God.
Yes.
And when I would go home and go to bed at night, I would do a conference and give money back. And then when I would go home and go to bed at night, when I stopped giving, I was grieving, and I would think, so I began to ask God to show me, and I still give. Yeah, go to the bank because I'm in the middle of a
conference.
But
it happened. You did it at the conference.
But the stories that come back.
Oh no, the testimonies that come
back.
Oh my
God, like that's the amount my husband. I didn't know what I was doing.
I believe you.
Yeah, he's
because I deal with that too.
God.
He helps me.
Yep.
Kind of keeps me running.
So
give it away.
I'm great. I don't have.
Tell us the truth.
I have no balance.
Greg is about to speak the truth.
This was before the Valley experience. God was giving us a glimpse.
Yeah.
And so I looked, and she was like, "Well, I'm giving it. I gave it." I said, "Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. No, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Did God say give that?
Yeah, did God?
Back it up. Don't just give it because you feel you got to give it, but you give it because God is telling you to do it. Because here's what happens. Sometimes we get in the way of God.
Yeah.
Just like we went through our valley experience and we had to come to a place of understanding. God can have somebody else in a valley experience. And my brother-in-law, him and my sister, they pastor the church and they are our spiritual leaders. But he said it like this: my arms are too short to fight with God.
Yeah.
And he said, if God got you in an experience where he's trying to get you to come to a place of realization, I'm not going to get in his way.
I love it.
So sometimes when we do just giving because we feel some type of way, we feel sorry for a situation, you could be giving and getting in the way of what God is trying to do in somebody else's life.
That's right.
That's so true.
Very true. You could be enabling someone and the Lord never told you to X, Y, or Z. And we cannot be led by our emotions. We need to know it's God. That's number one. Number two, we need to be led. I want to be led. I want the right guide. Because I'll tell you, manipulation is not of God anyway, so that's another. But it's so awesome.
Like the $1,000 Gucci shades, $1,000. I had just, I had never worn them.
I
just
Lord
got them.
Take mine off.
And someone kept kind of
saying they
I like those.
I love
digging it.
I want them. And finally, I just said, okay, but I'll tell you something. You were right. When God, I didn't feel God. I felt you just got them. You waited a while. I don't sporadically shop. It was something I wanted, and I gave them away that day. You were there too, and other people were. They were like, "I don't believe you did that," but anyway,
I said, "The Lord didn't tell me to give mine away."
Yeah, and what happened was I heard later. Well, you know what?
But the person was blessed.
Yeah, she was blessed and took them straight to the pawn shop.
I was going to say she pawned this.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And called me for the box. The Greens wanted to know, can I get the box?
God.
Yeah.
So we
that was
a
lesson,
right?
But I didn't feel God.
Yeah.
I didn't feel God.
It was like a lesson learned.
Yeah.
But that's process too. We
we all have done that.
And I don't ever watch, because if we're gonna say experiences that we've lived, I don't ever not want to give. So I want to make sure.
Right. Be in a situation.
And it is what it is.
Because you live experiences that happens to all of us, and all of a sudden it's like, And the Lord is saying, I'm a clear God. There's clarity in my picture.
Oh, you're a giver.
There's no gray. Yes, I am.
She's a giver. Oh my gosh.
I just do it differently. But money is money. Understand? Whether you do it out in the open or whether you do it. And what I do know is that He is a provider.
Come on. Yes.
What I do know is that there is no secret in what God can do.
Come on.
What I do know is that what He's done for the Scots, He can do for anyone if you're willing to go through the process.
That's right.
Because if from the beginning you heard the voice of God.
That's it.
Okay.
Yes.
You were challenged by the voice of God,
yes.
but you yielded to the voice of God. So,
That's
which is total obedience produces radical results, followed by radical blessings.
Yes.
Radical blessings produce radical promotions. Radical promotion. Everything else is radical and in the supernatural realm. Okay. Are you believing Him? And I always keep repeating, are you giving God something to work with?
That's good.
Okay, because we want all this.
Beautiful.
But the process, the being, no one, and it's funny because, you do coaching and mentoring.
Yes.
And, okay, and I love what you mentioned, like a midwife.
Oh,
a midwife. And you do that too.
Birthing out people.
You, oh Lord.
Yes.
But unless you want to be mentored or coached, okay, which means you need to yield, right? And allow someone to either put into you, deposit into you what they see that you don't see, or mentor that brings out of you what's already in you.
But you have to push.
But you have to push. You have to make the decision, right? Because not to make a decision is a decision. You have to give God something to work with. So a lot of people want to talk about, I live by faith. No, faith is action.
Faith is action.
Okay, faith is action. You don't sit at home, okay, unless God tells you, sit right here. It's on, help is on the way. You know, I like that song. Anyway, what I'm getting at is help is on the way. Okay, but you've got to take action. And at the end of the day, from books to business to corporate, 2.6 million paid cash. All the properties are paid cash, debt free. Let's see, from 2011 is it? Since 2011 on? And this is only, 2022. We're talking 11 years later.
Like a 10-year
span
of just,
and they
this is just the beginning.
Exactly the same.
Some couple of pounds on me.
A
couple of pandemic pounds that need to come off.
Pandemic.
Just 6.
There you go. There you go.
So at the end of the day, this is a good question coming up. How do you keep your marriage healthy? How do you, no matter what, because you're real, you're real, you're human, okay?
Yes,
and there's a lot on your table and many more opportunities coming
and
your
working
way.
together.
Yeah.
And working together. How do you keep that sanity? That
that's good.
It is good.
That balance.
Yeah.
It's a balancing act, and with Lenika, she's sexy.
Oh, there you go.
I know this is a Christian station, but we talking about marriage.
There you go.
We're talking about marriage. It's my sexy wife.
Oh, I love it. Well, that's what Ruben said about you. Right. When I pulled up, I said something. He said she's amazing.
Oh no, I don't mind telling her neither.
That's
I was like,
yeah, he does. He compliments me all the time.
I know we going back to feeling the heart.
Yeah.
Because just as much as I tell her she's sexy, she tell me I'm handsome.
Oh.
Yes. She's a smart woman.
So I'm just complimenting.
We
We compliment each other on what we already know.
Yeah.
I love it.
A lot of love, respect, just honesty.
Yeah.
And, even working together, it was a little different. At first, I was the one, like, in the industry. And then when he came home, it was like trying to find our way. But now it is just, it works so good. It's like a love.
A piece of the puzzle.
Even because I'm like, okay, I flow in my lane, he flow in his lane.
And respecting each other in that.
Respect each other, yeah.
It's not,
and you're building an empire together.
Right. It's not that we can't do what each other do, but her giftings are different from my giftings, and that's why even God pairs together, because our giftings complement each other.
Yes.
And we respect those giftings in each other. My wife, Lenika, flows in the prophetic.
Yes.
Right? And I understand that. So when she comes to me and she says,
3 o'clock in the morning,
this is what God is saying and stuff, I don't be like,
right.
Even though I be like, why are you bothering me?
Right. So guys, guess what?
But I listen.
We're getting ready to wrap it up, but we're gonna continue next week. This is just so amazing. We're gonna learn how to listen to each other through the voice of God and still be happy when we have to at times agree to disagree. Yeah. We love it. I love it. These conversations are amazing. So healthy. And guess what? We're just like you. We love you, and we see you next week right here with Sandrie and Friends. Hi, this is Sandrie with Sandrie and Friends. I want you to follow me, connect with me, keep me posted. We got to keep this conversation going, flowing. So connect, social media, through email, website, whatever. I want to hear from you. Love you.